What's up everybody? Welcome back to Football United TV. I'm your host Matt King. Sorry we haven't been around recently, but as you may know, and you've probably heard, coronavirus has spread mad. And it's quite worrying actually, a lot of people, especially over the age of 70, are going to be affected by this. And not only them, but people with very bad underlying health issues. So, of course, as you know, all sports events and major concerts and stuff like that, sports events have been cancelled pretty much all over the world. And the reason why is because can't take the risk, just for sports. And I feel everybody's pain because, look, football, I'm talking about football and having this channel has certainly got me out of a rut, it's kept my mind occupied and I enjoy talking about football. As you can check the history, this is all done by amateur fan stuff, and even for me in my position right now, it's not really much for me to say on sports because there's nothing going on and we're not really sure when things will get up and running again. We have also been updated today by FIFA and UEFA that the Euro 2020 championships are now postponed until next year, which, was probably the right choice to take, because there's a lot of talk going on about postponing the Premier League. Not only the Premier League, but all leagues around the world pretty much that have started now. I don't think they should do that. I think they should see what happens in the next few months. And if we can start playing football again this summer, we can get the season finished, hopefully by August-ish time. And then hopefully get straight back into football, cancel all pre-season tours, do a few friendlies here and there, and get the players back into football. It might overdrive them a little bit. We'll have to have a little break here and there. I think we could push it all through, but I think talking about starting the season again in December, a lot of people talking about that, starting the season again in December would be the right decision. I don't think it would be at all. I think if they can get things going again, at least by mid-July, we can get the season over with. Champions League, Europa League, Premier League, and all the other leagues in Europe. I think we can get through it. But really, away from sports, coronavirus thing that's going on, it's going to affect everybody, industries, leisure industries especially. And it's scary, because no one quite knows what it's all about. There's lots of different reports coming out, people saying one thing, people saying the other thing, and everyone's getting confused with what actually is going on. A lot of countries in Europe are on lockdown, and I'm sure a lot of other countries are going to follow that. England at the moment and the UK, we're not on lockdown. We've sort of been politely asked not to go to restaurants and bars, but people are going to do that. You look what's happened in France in the last few days. They asked people to do the same thing, but people ended up still going outside, congregating, and that's going to make it spread a lot more worse. I'm not a scientist, by the way. I'm not into medical research, so I can't tell you specifically, because to be honest, I don't think anyone can tell you specifically what this virus is capable of. There's even talk from scientists that I've been reading the last few days that, it could potentially duplicate and grow and grow and grow and get much stronger. This is the reason why it's very dangerous, because if it does do well, because this is the fact, things will evolve if they're doing well, if they're surviving, and if they're spreading around everybody around the world and contracting this, and the disease is contracting like it is, then it will survive much longer, and it could duplicate and make itself bigger, and it could affect everybody eventually. Who knows? This is what people have got to figure out. But just basically stay safe, everybody, stay calm as well. And when I say stay safe, I think from my evaluation of the whole thing, don't believe everything you read or you hear. Just pretty much do the basic routine stuff. Wash your hands thoroughly. Don't congregate too much at the moment. Help out the elderly around you, pretty much in your street or your local area, the older generation of your family, because they won't be able to go out, and they probably shouldn't go out because, like we say, they're more vulnerable to catching this disease. And sports, will come back. They definitely will come back. So, but the fact is, if people catch it, they might not come back. So you make a choice here, and I think it's a pretty easy one. And not to mention the sort of scariness of what's going on recently. Everybody going out to the supermarkets and just raiding the places. I mean, you know, for one thing, all right, don't be hitting up people for toilet roll.
Midwest Legends live, Davenport, Iowa.
And the second thing, to be quite honest, don't over-exceed what you need, because some people are really crazy out there with what they're grabbing in their trolleys. This is the way you don't want to be. You don't want to panic. There is enough for everybody. These places are still going to be open for weeks on end. There is enough food to go around for everybody. And there's a lot of good charity work going around from a lot of people as well. You know, opening up their restaurants, their places of business. Some people even their homes, like Cristiano Ronaldo has opened up his home so that people can get treated and cared for this disease. And that's very, very much needed at the moment, you know, because everybody's in it together, aren't they? And it's not like, you know, I think people sort of look at it from this stance and make it probably seems like everybody should be frightened. I don't think there is anything to be frightened about, but it's just that certain people are very vulnerable to it, and we don't have anything to cure it at the moment, and it could take a year or so. And I know that there's a lot of talk coming from the UK government that there could be things on the shelf even by mid-May to the end of May. I mean, I'm not sure whether that's legit or not. I don't necessarily believe everything I hear from the government, especially the way our government's been recently about it. Been a little bit slow. They say there's reasons to it, but again, no one's ever had this situation before, so we can only tell in the coming weeks. So obviously not a lot to talk to you about football. However, transfer talk is going on at the moment. There's a lot of talk going on about transfers, and it does kind of come in with the coronavirus thing, because if people's contracts run out at the end of May and we haven't finished the season, are they allowed to leave? Can people buy them? If we're going to be playing till August, September, the same season, I mean, it's a very difficult matter, but like, again, nobody knows the answers at the moment. It looks to me that with the cancelling of Euro 2020, that they're going to continue with the leagues this summer, which I think will work. I think it'll be the best option, and then we're going to have to try and fit games in here and there next season just to sort of catch up. And maybe push the Euro 2020s in 2021 a week or two, or depending on what happens, because like we say, we're predicting the future at the moment, and you know, it's difficult. I'm not Mystic Meg, I don't have a crystal ball. Basically, a message to everybody: keep cool, keep calm, and look after your elders and anybody with underlying health issues, and keep in tune, because we will keep you up to date in the few weeks about what's going on. If we know any news about the Premier League coming back, Champions League, Europa League, to be honest, all sports, because American sports, cricket, rugby, even the Olympics, they look like they're going to be scrapped. And I've got a few weddings to go to this summer. They could be scrapped too. So it literally affects everybody right now. So if we can all just keep calm, keep cool, maybe have a Guinness. It's St. Paddy's Day today. I think probably a lot of people have forgotten about St. Patrick's Day. I don't celebrate it myself because I ain't Irish. But Guinness is nice, you got to admit. Puts hairs on your chest, innit? That iron. Basically, just try and enjoy yourself as much as you can, being isolated at home. I know it's difficult, but you know, it's about adapting to change. You know, it's something we're all not used to. Love getting outside, love going out and seeing people, and at this moment in time, we're being told not to. Use the technology that we've got at the moment. Use your Skypes, use your social media, talk to people more, have chats, have conversations, and let's keep it all together. And I'm talking about the whole wide world, because there's no borders of love from me. Thank you everybody for tuning in today. As you can tell, no football news, but again, thank you for viewing. If you can subscribe, please do, and have a pleasant week.